In the first of two finals in this year's Diamond League, 16 diamond race titles will be decided tonight in an evening of world-class athletics. We're back in Switzerland, where the city of Zurich hosts the Weltklasse. Your commentators at the Letzigrund Stadium are Tim Hutchings and Steve Cram.
Well, the atmosphere is building. We were here, of course, for the European Championships in 2014. Lots of memories of that. And we actually begin tonight, Tim, with a non-Diamond League race, the 400-metre hurdles.
We do indeed, yes. How ironic is that? But it is a top-notch field, none the same. This is not a diamond race, but British interest here in Ailey Doyle in lane 4, who's had a couple of big wins on the diamond race circuit. There is Shamir Little. Well, what a surprise it was, her going out of the semi-finals of the US Championship. She's world number 2 this year, Little, the American, looking to make some amends here from lane 3. There's Ailey Doyle, European champion back in 2014, a very consistent season. Won the Monaco and Doha meetings earlier on this year, but 8th in Rio. Well, great lane draw for the Briton Doyle in the pink shoes there in lane 4. Quick to rise. Little has gone off quickly too in lane 3, and the All Black are actually closing up on Ailey Doyle, and also gone off quickly is Pedersen, third from left in lane 6. Pedersen moving well, looking very strong. She runs the races perfectly measured in recent weeks at least, but Doyle and Little inside her are closing up on those outside her. Before the second bend, they've really attacked this first 200, and Shamir Little, remember the World Championship silver medalist last year, of whom so much was expected in this Olympic year, maybe getting it right here, albeit a couple of months too late, but comes into the straight in the lead. Doyle going well in second place in lane 4, but has got some work to do to hang on to that, as now Pedersen on lane 6 comes through very strongly. Shamir Little stays clear. This is better for her, but it's all too late in this 2016 summer. 53.99, the win for the American from Pedersen, and Ailey Doyle in third place. Well, where has that form been? She's had relatively poor form since the Olympic trial. She was 6th in Monaco, 6th in London, 5th in Lausanne a week ago. Now she finds her racing legs, her racing form. But months and months too late. What a shame. Great run nonetheless. And we can confirm the result of that women's 400-metre hurdles with the American Shamir Little finding her form at the 11th hour in this 2016 summer. Pedersen and Doyle in second, third, with Wenda Ternell in fourth.
The women's pole vault was held the night before in the main station in the centre of Zurich. A large enthusiastic crowd of fans and commuters were treated to a close-up view of a high-quality competition which included the gold and silver medalists from Rio. But it was Great Britain's Holly Bradshaw who claimed the victory. The British record holder had enjoyed a flawless competition before going clear at 4.76 meters at the first attempt, which would prove to be the winning height. It was a season's best for Bradshaw and her third best ever vault. The Olympic champion Stefanidi of Greece had elected to pass at 4.76 due to earlier failures, but she could go no higher. And silver medalist Sandy Morris of the USA also ruled an earlier miss. She cleared 4.76 too, but she lost out to Bradshaw on countback. This wasn't a Diamond League event, but for Holly it was a significant win against the Olympic medalists, and with a couple of competitions left, she's not ready yet to sign off on 2016. It was a great win in an unusual venue, just the ticket for Holly.
Still to come, 4 of the world's most decorated 200-metre runners go head-to-head for the first time. British 1500-metre record holder Laura Muir is still in the race for the Diamond League trophy. All the protagonists are here for a rerun of the women's 800-metre final from Rio. World record holder Kendra Harrison features in a stacked 100-metre hurdles. And world record breaker Ruth Jabet leads the field in the women's steeplechase.
So next on the track on the far side, the men's 5,000 metres. And big field, 20 athletes. And look at the list of the names who are going through there. Kajelcha and Edris, this could well come to between those two in terms of winning the diamond race, although others technically have a chance, Gebriwet and Jaylan, depending on results here. Kajelcha, fresh from a win in Paris, of course didn't go to Rio, controversially perhaps not selected, there he is. So is he the man in form? Well, he has to make up 8 points on Edris. So Edris has 30 points, Kajelcha 22, But of course, with double points tonight, if you win, you get 20, and if you come second, you get 12. And of course, their positions would therefore be reversed, and then the win tonight carries most weight. So Kajelcha, if they're tied on points, would then end up as the winner.
On your mark.
So 12.5 laps of the track. They've asked for a pace around 62-second laps, 2:35-ish through 1,000 meters. They're looking, of course, to get under 13 minutes here. And when you think back to all of the great 5,000 meters that have been here over the years, Tim, you can remember Gebre Selassie breaking the world record here on a couple of occasions, Bekele running quick. No Mo Farah, of course, but a chance, if nothing else, for some of these men to get quick times, and perhaps certainly for Kajelcha to have a big payday.
Well, I'm very excited, Steve, by Evan Jager, who has great potential, of course, the Olympic silver medalist in the steeplechase. Going for a quick time here. There's been discussion about whether Jager can improve to under 13 minutes, his personal best 13:02. But let's not forget Ryan Hill as well, who had a fabulous run in Paris in that 3,000 metres last Saturday. He was fourth there in a personal best of 7:30. And there were so many men in great form in that Paris 3,000 who are running again here tonight. I'm really optimistic that we'll see several men go under 13 minutes, but they have got to go with the pace. As you say, 62 seconds per lap is 12:55 tempo. It's not hanging about.
Well, they're hanging about though, Tim. At the back, I say at the back, they are in the pack, and they ran about 65 for the first lap, and they've gone even slower now. So only Evan Jager has gone with the pace. So this is going to be interesting, because if they keep running 4 or 5 laps, and then he is out there on his own, is he in the sort of shape to keep going? If they end up running 13.5 pace, they could be in trouble. Well, it's a great field in the women's long jump, including all of the 3 Olympic medalists. Spanovic, of course, despite jumping 7 meters 8 in the final in Rio, had to settle for the bronze. It all kicked off, didn't it, in the last 2-3 rounds? Well, it was the opposite tonight. She started brilliantly in round 1 in the sunshine down the back straight. 6 meters 93 straight off the board. Absolutely no wind in the stadium. Perfectly calm conditions. Spanovic setting an early marker. Well, Daria Klashina had so much publicity around her in those Olympic Games and didn't obviously perform as well as she would have liked. It was a little better here tonight, and it was very, very tight in the first 2-3 rounds. Spanovic was way ahead of everybody. Klashina was chopping into the board there, those long legs of hers, almost in that awkward action running into the board. But Klashina going out to 6.63. So then on into the 4th round. Brittany Rees trying to respond, as she did in Rio. That's better. Now, still searching for 7 meters, not too far away. The lead from Spanovic, 6.93 in round 1. Great technique from Rees, so powerful. And this one, round 4, 6.95, takes the lead by just 2 centimeters. Well, that was the best jump of the competition. So Brittany Rees won with 6.95, Spanovic 6.93 in 2nd place, that first round jump. Daria Klashina, 3rd place, 6.63 ahead of Balta. And in the diamond race, it was Spanovic who then came out on top. She's had a very, very consistent year. You can see there, she pretty much had it wrapped up coming in tonight. And that's the case for quite a few of the athletes, but many events where that's not the case. Well, interesting thing in this 5,000 meters is Evan Jager went through in 2:34, and that is the sort of pace we're asking for. But 8 seconds and more now, because they're continuing to run at a slow pace, the pack. They're letting Jager go. Very fast sort of first lap, settled down a little bit in the 62s, but running sub 13-minute pace at the front with the 2 pacemakers. And look at that gap now. It's about 11 seconds actually now, and they are showing no signs of picking it up. I just wonder whether they realize it's Jager up there. Some of the Ethiopians who are running at 5,000 meters, Kajelcha, etc., 1 or 2 of the others, might not realize that Jager has the ability perhaps to run sub 13. So this is hugely interesting.
Women's discus. Caballero next to go. No throw in the first round for the Cuban. Perkovic leads, by the way. Perkovic, the Olympic and world champion, opened with 64-23. Well, 62-80 in the second round for Caballero. Yeah, you can laugh all you like at this stage of the season because the big pressure meets are behind you. Robert Michon. Well, very modest 3 opening rounds from the French. Took that silver medal in Rio with 66-73. But she's really struggling to get anywhere near that. She opened with a 57 effort, then a 58, then a 60. She's improving through each round. 63.91, second place, but a long way down on Perkovic. Perkovic then in the 6th and final round. 67.98 in round 4. No throw in round 5. That's beautifully flighted. How well has that gone? It's another big one. Well, the meeting record you can see out there is at just over the 70-meter line. That was by the URS's Faina Melnik back in 1975, can you believe? 68.44 for Perkovic. By far the longest throw of the competition. That is about as good as it can get. Well, just confirmation of the top 5 there. Perkovic 68.44 ahead of the French Robert Michon.
Less than 3 laps to go for Evan Jager, but the chase is on. The gap at one point was 17 seconds. It's now down to about 10. But Jager has cut himself loose of the pacemaker. They were just getting slower. They slowed through the 3rd K. They've slowed in this 4th kilometre. He looks a bit tired now. He's got 1,000 metres left, just over 2.5 laps. You can see the gap. This is going to be fascinating. Scrap the times. There aren't going to be any fast times here tonight. But what needs to be sorted out is who's going to win this diamond race in the 5,000 metres. Kujelcha had hoped he could, by winning tonight, guarantee he gets the big pot. But Evan Jager has come along and messed up the party a little bit for him. Edris is close by. Kujelcha could still do it if he finished second, if he didn't catch Jager, but Edris would have to be outside the top 5. So, Jager with 2 laps to go, Tim, can he hang on?
Well, he's slowing, there's no doubt about it. That 4th kilometre, 2:43, was his slowest. It's way outside 13:20 tempo, 2:43. Kujelcha leads the pack through, Steve, but the gap is probably 45-50 metres. And I just think that Evan has got the strength and experience and racing now to handle these next 2 and a couple of laps. He's a 3:32 1,500 metre runner from last year. He has run 13:02. You're right, he hasn't run any 5,000s. He's inexperienced, but frankly, this is just pure running from the front. They are beginning to close. They're reeling in Kagogo in second place, one of the pacemakers, but Jager's still got 40 metres.
Here they go then, winding up with 600 to go. They pass the pacemaker, but Jager is still 45 metres ahead. But as I speak, every metre it closes and it closes, but he's going to take the bell. He's going to have a head start. Now, wouldn't you like to have a head start of a good 30-35 metres, maybe even more, going into the bell? Can Evan Jager lift it? They're going to run a big last lap. Kujelcha is in chase. Edris is close to him as well. Rop is with them, who had a great Olympic Games. Shalimo and Nagida, the 2 big kickers at the back of that pack. And I think they're going to catch him because Jager is just starting to look a little tired down that back straight.
Well, he is, Steve, but it was 12:15 at the bell. They were 5.5 seconds down at the bell. Jager has got to dig deep here and stay ahead. It's 15 metres now, the gap.
Gebriwet lets loose, and he's chasing him down now. Now, if he won this, and other positions dependent on it, he could still win the diamond race, but I think that the fact that Kujelcha's well up there won't happen. And look at poor Evan Jager, looks over his shoulder. He's been out there for so long. It was a brave effort from him, but he couldn't last it. Gebriwet coming through to take the win tonight. Chalimo, as he did in Rio, is going to get second place, and a very, very tired Evan Jager will hang on to third. Well, it was a bit of a crazy race. Only Jaeger went with the pace. They all looked at each other, and for a long time it looked as though he could do it, but he got slower and slower. He did pick up a little bit in the last 600 metres, but these guys were on him by then.
Jaeger, well, he did well to hang on like that for 13-16. He's clearly running on tired legs here. But Gebriwet, well, I'm surprised he got away from the pack so easily. I'm surprised that the pack let Jaeger go in the first place. It was a race of shocks, and not disappointing really, because they've got to run tactically over the full 12.5 laps. It's not a time trial, but the conditions are about as good as they can get.
Well, I don't think he realises it, because he just ran to win the race there. But because he won, and Edris and Kajulcha weren't inside the top 5 or 6, he wins. He wins the diamond race. Winning time 13:14.82. Chilimo second again. What a season he's having. And Evan Jaeger hung on for third. Confirmation of the diamond race standings at the end. Gebriwet jumping from 15 points to 35 and gets ahead of a very disconsolate Edris.
The winners of the past 4 Olympic titles take on the current world champion.
It's going to be Daphne Schippers!
In the fastest 200-metre field assembled for years, double Olympic sprint champion Elaine Thompson faces world champion and arch rival Daphne Schippers. Schippers can't be caught in the diamond race, but will be keen for revenge after losing out to Thompson in Rio.
It is indeed the women's 200 metres. Kambunji in lane 2. When she's introduced to the crowd, there'll be a roar. She's a real darling of Swiss athletics. Campbell Brown, living legend, goes in lane 4. 34 years old though now, the 3-time Olympic champion from Jamaica. And Daphne Schippers, the world champion, goes in lane 5 for the Netherlands. Inside Elaine Thompson, the double Olympic champion from Rio. It's a very strong field indeed. There's Michelle Lee Aye of Trinidad and Tobago, 6th in Rio in both the 100 and 200. Not quite as good as last year when she was 5th in Beijing over 100 metres. Alison Felix, a 6-time Olympic champion. Silver medalist, of course, in Rio in 400 metres to the diving Bahamian Shawnee Miller. Won the Olympic trials over 400, but only 4th at 200. Couldn't go for that double she wanted, 200, 400 in Rio. But this young lady, the Jamaican Elaine Thompson, at 24, is double Olympic champion. And then she won in Paris last Saturday with the 10.78 and the 221.79. Daphne Schippers. Schippers, of course, the 3rd fastest athlete in history. World champion last year. Good lane draw, lane 4 inside Elaine Thompson. It's quite some match this. Schippers, Thompson, Felix in 5, 6, 7. Campbell Brown, well, only 6th in Lausanne over 111.27. She's certainly not the force she was. She was only 3rd in her heat in Rio over 100. Dina Asher-Smith, the young Briton, in fabulous form, holds the national record at 100, 10.99. She should go well here. Kambunji, 7th in Lausanne, exactly a week ago tonight, a semi-finalist in Rio in 100 and 200. Well, not a great start from Schippers. She's got a bit of work to do. Certainly Felix has gone off very hard on the outside. Schippers, though, is up on the lane. Thompson. Felix, Schippers probably leading at the moment in the blue, in lane 5. Skipping it is. Here comes Elaine Thompson, clawing back the Dutch, stride by stride. But is she going to get there? Yes, I think she might have done. Oh my word, that was tight. Very tight indeed. I almost got the impression, Steve, that Daphne Schippers dipped a little early. Just missing out there, or did she? We'll have to wait and see what the computer says. That'll take some looking at. Felix, I thought, would come through more strongly in the second half, but maybe she put a lot in around the bend. 21.85, it's a Diamond League record by Elaine Thompson.
Well, what a great race. Schippers just, I mean, she burnt the bend this time, didn't she? And Elaine Thompson really had to work, ran her down. That's what Schippers has normally been so good at. But this time, Schippers just tying up the last 25, 30 metres. And that's why, as you were saying, Tim, reaching for the line, really. This is where Schippers is normally good. It's where she normally holds it together. But look at Thompson. Look at that great form. still trying to keep it relaxed. And look at the tension in Skipper's face as she's trying to hang on to this and gets a little bit ragged towards the end there. Not what we normally see from the big Dutch woman, but two great runs, 21.85. Actually, that's Skipper's best time of the season. And same for Felix, who was just outside 22 seconds. Consolation as well. Definitely Skipper's was already clear, as he said, in terms of winning the diamond race. But I think she thought she had that. She had it 5 meters out, didn't she? Close, not quite.
Thompson then, a Diamond League record, 21.85. Skipper's 21.86. Felix 22.02. Season's best for her. She's still going well. Well, we can go now to the men's shot put competition. This, Tommy Walsh, the bronze medalist from Rio, the world indoor champion. Earlier on in the year, Commonwealth silver medalist 2 years back. He's had a fabulous couple of years, and he won Paris over Krauser by 1 centimetre last week. Tommy Walsh here, going out to 22.20 in the third round. That a new area record, of course a new personal best for Tommy Walsh after his fabulous effort in Paris, where he threw 22 metres, exactly a new personal best. And Krauser, well, big fellow, the Olympic champion, took everybody by surprise, I think, with that win in Rio, despite his World Youth title back in 2009, an impressive win with over 22 metres at the US Olympic trials. That for Krauser at 22 metres exactly in the fourth round, although he hasn't yet caught Tommy Walsh on 22.20. Kovacs then. Kovacs there on about 21.5. Well, the best of his opening 3 rounds was only 20.89. He's got into his stride in these last 3 rounds. 20.91 in round 4, 21.16 in round 5. And Joe Kovacs there, the Olympic silver medalist, the world champion from last year. 21 meters 20, the best of his series, in third place. Not happy with it. Tommy Walsh then is indeed the winner with that 22.20 from round 3 for the Kiwi. An area record. He finished a fabulous series. His 4th, 5th and 6th rounds all beyond 21 metres. But Tommy Walsh on this occasion puts the best of them behind him. The big names, Krauser 2nd, Kovacs 3rd, Roberts in 4th.
After her disappointment in the Olympic final, Britain's Laura Muir bounced back at last week's Diamond League meeting in Paris with a new PB, British record and world-leading time. That took Muir to 13th on the all-time list for 1500 metres and left Olympic champion Faith Kipyegon beaten for the first time this year. A repeat result would see Muir win the diamond race, but she'll have to overcome a field packed with many of the Rio finalists.
Back on the track then, the women's 1500 metres, and what a field we've got here. No Ganzebi Dibaba, but she's the only one not here from Rio. Pretty much the Olympic final here with 1 or 2 additions, including the likes of Helen Obiri. Jenny Meadows of Great Britain has been brought in to do a pacemaking job. Perhaps for a compatriot, Laura Muir, who's having a season of her life away from the Olympics, because that's the lady who won the gold medal on the day, Faith Kipyegon. Jenny Simpson, brilliant bronze for the USA. There's Obiri dropping down back from the 5,000 to the 1,500. But Laura Muir, Scotland's finest, had 2 British records this year, a world-leading 3:55 in Paris last week, took her by surprise, and I think took the world by surprise as well. Now, if Laura Muir can win this race, she can catch Faith Kipyegon.
On your mark.
Double points tonight, of course. So Muir, is she going to go for it here? It was her front-running tactics in Paris that took everybody not so much by surprise, because Laura Muir's done that before, but the power of her running once the pacemakers dropped out. And what she wants tonight is Jenny Meadows to go off at a pretty good steady pace through 800 and 2.8, try and keep going to 1,000 metres. And I'll bet you bottom dollar that Laura Muir will be ready to pick it up then. She's already gone quickly to the front, to the forefront. Shannon Robury up there, Stefan Hassan towards the back, as she often is, Sigai. And Kipyegon this time, I'm pretty sure, Tim, will not let Laura Muir get away as easily as she did in Paris, although I'm not sure there was much she could have done about it.
Well, it's exciting, isn't it, Steve? Because while it's a predictable tactic, you know when Laura Muir lines up, you're going to have a tough race. She's gone through 300 there in about 45 seconds. They know they're going to get tested here tonight. The only problem is, of course, from Laura's perspective, it is a slightly predictable tactic. You know you're going to get this long charge for home from at least about 1,000 metres out, and they can prepare themselves for that mentally and physically. But that's a quick opener.
Yeah, just a tad quick. I think they were expecting 63, 65 from Jenny, but Jenny's obviously a brilliant 800-metre career and is very good at judging her pace, and she'll just keep this going nicely, try and get through. Of course, in Paris, they went through in 2:09 and bits, didn't they, in the end? And then the second pacemaker really helped pick it up, change the gear, change the tempo of the race, and that clicked Laura Muir into another rhythm, and she just kept going away from everyone. So, Laura Muir with Kipyegon right on her shoulder, watching her. Jenny Meadows leading this. They're all still there, good pace. Robry just tucked on the curb there, a little further back. Sifan Hassan just starting to move up a little bit, get a bit closer now. And right at the back is Szczechocka of Poland as they have 2 laps to go.
Well, it's been a nice break, hasn't it? Since Paris last Saturday, she's had 5 days rest now, has Laura Muir. That's enough time in which to just go down the track, get a very light session in a few strides, and then focus on this. They're all going hard at it, 2.8 exactly at 800 metres, 2.8.1 that is. But they all knew what was coming now. I think they found out exactly, or they've sussed out her tactics, Steve, after London, that British record of 3:57, and then after Paris, where she really took them to hell and back. They know exactly what's coming now, and as Jenny Meadows drops out after a really good pacemaking job done, they're queuing up behind her, and this is a huge test for Laura Muir. Can she use that renowned strength?
And now Kipyegon thinking, right, well, this isn't Paris, you're not going away from me. I like to be at the front, and that's what Kipyegon has now done. Taking it to Laura Muir. Kipyegon wants to win this tonight. Laura Muir in second place. Then the 2 Americans, Shannon Robry, Jenny Simpson. And then behind, we've got Sigai Hassan trying to hang on. And Laura Waitman just getting detached from that lead group as they take the bell. Kipyegon really going hard now. This, of course, is not the big kick, though, and there are kickers behind.
Well, some big names. Robry is in 3rd place, Simpson in 4th, Sado in 5th, Hassan in 6th, 1,200 metres, 3:11. That lap was about a 63.2, 63.3. But I wonder if Laura Muir almost wanted this to happen, Steve. She's not the pacemaker, the target now. She's got somebody to follow.
Laura Muir sitting there, trying to come back at Kipyegon. Jenny Simpson looks dangerous, so does Shannon Robry. So Kipyegon there to be shot at as they come into the home straight. It's not about the times necessarily, this is about the win here tonight. And Laura Muir is going to try and kick this one. Kipyegon looks a little bit spent here, and Muir is away and gone, but Shannon Robry still there. And also Simpson trying to get there. Sifan Hassan finishing quickly. And is Robry going to get there? Muir might just, no, Robry gets it on the line. And how many dives across the line have we seen? Wow. Shannon Robry, I was just about to say Laura Muir's going to hang on, but Shannon Robry with that lunge not only robbed Muir of the victory here tonight, may well have robbed her of the diamond race overall as well, because she had to get the win, given that Kipyegon wasn't too far away. We'll check all of the points. 3:57.78, very different race to Paris, a quick time nonetheless.
Well, the first 6 there going under 4 minutes, Steve. Little US dust up there between Robry and Simpson, with Robry this time coming up on top, reversing the positions from Paris when Simpson finished ahead of her. But Laura Muir did everything she could there. Had to go a little wide to get past Kipyegon. The Olympic champion is clearly not the force she was a couple of weeks back. And of course, Muir nearly was able to shut the door on Robry down the home straight here. Look at that, she's in lane 2. If she'd stuck to the curb, Robry might have found it tough with a bit of traffic to get through. Her legs give way under her, that's how much she gave. You can see Seom in the background crashing to the track, Simpson as well. That's what you call giving your all.
Well, Kipyegon actually ended up 7th. And who would have predicted that before tonight? So Faith Kipyegon, there she is, disconsolately walks off, because she only had to finish 4th or 5th there, and that would have been enough because Muir wasn't winning, but she maybe didn't know that, and not only ran a poor race by her standards, 4-1 back in 7th, Laura Muir, second place, but good enough to win the diamond race.
I didn't know if I had her or not, so I'm over the moon. I never expected something like this, so I'm so happy. I just want to do the same as I did in Paris, to stick behind the pacer, and I knew if I ran a quick time I'd have a good chance, so yeah, I just went for it, and I couldn't quite hold it off at the very end, but it was very close.
Thiago Braz then, one of the biggest shocks in Rio, his gold medal in front of the home crowd in the pole vault. And Braz, at the age of 22, there he goes clear, no trouble at all. Took 3 attempts at 5.62. That was a little while ago. But Braz was the World Junior Champion back in 2012. He's been there or thereabouts as a senior, 4th in the World Indoors in 2014 in Sopot, Poland, and there his second time clearance at 5.72 keeps him in the mix. He's passing at the next height, I can tell you that, 5.78. Now, La Villenie, as Steve said, little hiccup there earlier on at 5.62. First attempt at 5.78 for the Olympic champion from London, the silver medalist, of course, in Rio. That's nice. Can you believe he was booed on the podium in Rio? It reduced him to tears. Desperately bad behaviour by a small section of the crowd in Brazil. What a shame that was. But how he'd love to round off his season here with a fine performance, as indeed would Sam Kendricks of the USA, the silver medalist at the World Indoors in front of a home crowd, bronze medalist in Rio. Yeah, that'll do. Kendricks in good form too. Third attempt at 5.78 he cleared, and there at 5.84 throws the gauntlet down to the others. Thiago Braz, remember, still in there, having passed at 5.78. La Villenie cleared it first time, Kendricks third time, and then 5.84 because Kendricks is vaulting before La Villenie. There's still 3 in it. Next event on the track then, the men's 400 metres. LaShawn Merritt goes in lane 4. Such was his form earlier in the season. Many thought he might have taken the Olympic title, but he had settled for bronze in Rio behind that astonishing world record of Wade van Niekerk, who has shut down his season straight after Rio, back in South Africa enjoying himself, watching the football. Maslach in 1, Brenners in 2, Steve Gardner in 3, LaShawn Merritt, the Olympic bronze medalist, in 4. Braylon Taplin goes in 5, Hudson Smith, Olympic finalist, goes in 6. Makwala in 7 for Botswana, Martin Rooney on the outside. Well, without much delay at all, they get underway. Certainly Merritt has gone off pretty quickly. Steady start from Gardner in 3. Oh my word, and that is in fact Hudson Smith who's pulled up in lane 6. As Merritt surges on his way, is already well past Taplin, looking strong there through 200 metres. Also aggressive running from Brenners in lane 2, the world indoor champion 4 years back. If anything, he's gaining now on Merritt, who's steadying around this bend. Is he going to finish strongly, as he normally does? Into the straight then, and it's really tight here between Brenners in 2 and Merritt. And here comes in lane 4, in lane 5 rather, Taplin, threatening Merritt. Taplin coming back at Merritt. Is he going to get there? No. About a foot in it. 44.67. Well, that's a nicely judged race by LaShawn Merritt. Went out pretty hard, nice and steady through 200, eased around the bend, others made up ground on him, then held back the attacks coming into the straight, and over the last 50 or so from Braylon Taplin, who was himself, remembered, 7th in Rio. He's no slouch, the Grenadian, but LaShawn Merritt there. Well, wins for the 5th time here in the Letzigrund. He led the diamond race with 30 points from Makwala's 18. He now has 50 points and is undisputed diamond race champion for this year.
Merritt doing enough there, of course, for him. Tonight wasn't about the time. This diamond race was his, of course, pretty much wrapped up, and just needed a good solid run here tonight. But then pride takes over here when he's in a real scrap with Taplin. Just tying up a little bit Merritt here, but keeping those big arms and knees going. No knee lift at all at the end there, wasn't it? But Taplin's momentum looked as though he would just get him there, and then just the last 5 metres ran out of steam.
LaShawn Merritt then, 44.64, head of Braylon Taplin, 44.70. Brenner's there, 45.18 in 3rd.
Pole vault. Livillini. That's good. Well, he's been a little bit inconsistent tonight at the lower heights, not like him. 2 attempts to get over 584. And as Tim was saying earlier, 2 attempts to get over 562. So, although he's cleared 584, same as Kendricks, he's in second place. Because the two of them, well, he had 2 attempts at that height, Kendricks just the 1. So the Olympic champion then took a little while to get warmed up, looked pretty good, clearing 72, 2 attempts at 84. There he goes. Well, he doesn't look too happy, does he? Well, he's still in it. What a night that was for him. I mean, it was nothing to do with him, the booing of the crowd. I think perhaps it got to Livillini. I mean, he made the gesture on the screen, didn't he? It wasn't the most educated crowd at times, and perhaps he maybe should just have ignored it. It did look as though it got to him. I mean, Livillini wasn't vaulting bad that night. Up until that point, it was just that this guy went higher than he could have expected, than Livillini could have expected. 584 tonight so far.
Whilst the controversy around Caster Semenya rumbles on, there's no disputing her dominance in the 800 metres. Tonight's race is practically a rerun of the Olympic final, with all the finalists from Rio towing the line again here. With the Olympic title claimed, a win here would secure the diamond race, but will Semenya be looking to make a point by setting a fast time?
This race has every single one of the finalists from the Rio final, the women's 800 metres. It's a real stormer, this one. Caster Semenya, the Olympic champion. Neon Saba, the silver medalist. Wambui, the bronze medalist. And then all those behind them. Melissa Bishop, Sharp, Jolsvik. And listen to this, they have asked for a fast pace, 55 seconds at 400. Semenya leads the diamond race marginally by 2 points from Neon Saba. Well, 55 to 55.5 is the tempo that's been asked over the first 400 metres. That's very quick indeed. And certainly Usovic is going for it there on the outside. I'm not sure too many of the others are keen to really attack it. Looks like Buchel has gone off perhaps the quickest of the pack, and Neon Saba as well in the green top there, third from right. He's also run aggressively, not wanting to get boxed. You're in a bit of a dilemma over the first 200 in an 800 like this with a big field, 12 starters. Because if you don't go out hard when you're on the inside 3 or 4 lanes, you can get pretty badly boxed. But Semenya, uncharacteristically, Steve, goes to the front of the pack and looks like she might be up for it here.
Yeah, but she won't thank Usovic, will she? I mean, she's meant to be pretty experienced, Usovic, and she's just gone way too fast. She's slowing down now, but that's not the way to run a 55. I mean, she's going to end up with 55, probably about 56.5 for Semenya. Now, what Semenya does do is run even-paced races. So if she comes back with a reasonable second lap here, she's in for 153, 154. But, Tim, she's got to do it on her own now. She's got to go from the front and go hard for a change all the way here.
Well, she's got them breathing down her neck now, has Semenya. Neon Saba, the Olympic silver medalist, in second there. Buchel having the run of her life at the moment, but 200 to run. Neon Saba choosing to run the shoulder of the Olympic champion. 126 at 600 metres. Remember that winning time in Rio, 155.28. They're strung out, but they're all going with it. And Wambui now in third place. It's the Olympic gold, silver and bronze medalists in that order as they hit the straight. Coming wide now, round the outside. It's the Samasaba in the blue. But it's staying out in front now, very impressively, is Semenya. She's going to get there. Semenya by 2 metres from Neon Saba and Wambui. The gap behind them speaks volumes once again. Those are the Olympic medalists. And once more, Melissa Bishop and Sharp and Buchel and Sum have run good times, way under 2 minutes. But they are behind the big three who stood atop the rostrum in Rio, 156.44. You're right, Steve, the pacemaking was a little awry. It was way too quick.
You don't run 55 like that. She must have gone kind of, 26.5 and then start to slow down. And then the rhythm's all wrong, even if Semenya did want to attack it. She wants a good, smooth 55 and a half. Maybe she should have gone through like 56. But to be fair, what then happened is she didn't push on you're right, everybody then gathered and it looked as though she was going to be vulnerable. I think she then decided, right, I'll save just enough for the home straight. The debates will continue around Caster Semenya. She will do what she says she can only do, keep winning races. Done it again here, wins the diamond race. For her, 2016 has been a fabulous year.
There it is, Semenya Nyansabawambu, the same 1-2-3 as Rio. Josvik in fourth, Kate Grace in fifth. Good run that from the American, a personal best ahead of last year's world champion. And Lindsay Sharp clearly, perhaps one race too many here in 11th place.
Still to come, Kendra Harrison and Cindy Afili in the women's sprint hurdles. Adam Jamili and CJ Uja in the 100 metres. Ruth Gibet in the steeplechase. And the traditional women's 4x100 metre relay.
Well, news in the pole vault is that the Olympic champion Thiago Braz, after clearing 584, retired. So that left or leaves just Kendricks and Lavillenie. And Kendricks really taking it to Lavillenie here. Second attempt at 590. Lovely clearance here. A military man. He's quick and smooth, and when he gets it right, looks so good, doesn't he, Kendricks? Just a little nudge there, as he did at 584, and he's had one or two bits of good fortune in the last couple of weeks with the bar, but 590 keeps him in the lead there. No Sean Barber, the world champion tonight. He was a late withdrawal earlier on today. And as I said, the Olympic champion now retired. We haven't got any news as to why. So Lavillenie looking to respond at 590, second attempt. That's it. Very good. Applause from Kendricks, smiles from Lavillenie, and it's good to see that because we didn't see too much of that in Rio, did we? Look of determination on his face, attacking it as he always does. Great athleticism. Nose is well clear, well clear. So back on the track, we have perhaps one of the highlights of the evening, the women's 100 metre hurdles with Kendra Harrison, the new world record holder. There she is. How quick can she go tonight? Cindy Afili only just missed out on a medal in Rio. Stowers is in 3, Rowlander 4, Harrison 5, Afili 6, Harper Nelson 7. World record 12.20. She gets away very well, very quickly indeed, and is cleanly hurdling. Rowlander going well with her, and also Cindy Afili going very well, and Harrison a little bit of pressure here, but starts to come away again. Ken Harrison just wins it, 12.64, no records tonight. Good running from Afili, also finishing quick with Stowers. Well, she got out well. First hurdle, second hurdle, you're thinking, here we go. But not even as good as Lausanne. And by her standards, a pretty ordinary night at the office. 12.64. Well, 12.63 has been taken down to...
She got out really well. Afili, just this side of Harrison there, in lane 6. Started really well and matched her for about 5 or 6 flights and isn't far down in second place there, 12.63 to 12.70. I think now she's almost got a target on her back. They've probably been studying videos of it and thinking, if you can do it, I can too. But you're right, she's so quick between the barriers, clears them beautifully. Afili there, probably closer to her than she has been all season, frankly.
So Harrison getting the win, great season except that major hole in August where she was not at Rio. She can only wonder what might have happened. Afili, very good second place, just ahead of Harper Nelson as ever, finishing quickly and got ahead of Jasmine Stowers for third.
Well, the pole vault is complete. Kendricks and Lavillenie sharing the win. Both of them having 3 attempts and failing all at 6.01. They both cleared 5.90 at the second time of asking. Thiago Braz, the Olympic champion, 5.84. I don't suppose he's too bothered. He has that gold medal tucked away somewhere. Dr. Lishek there, 5.72 in 4th place. Lavillenie, he's still only 29, But he is the Diamond League race winner with 72 points ahead of Kendricks' 50 and Lisek on 15. Well, you can see at the top of the picture the men lined up for this next race, the men's 100 metres. The Diamond race leader on 20 points is the absent Justin Gatlin, so that means of those here in Zurich, Ben Yusuf Maite, who goes in lane 5 on 16 points, is basically Maite versus Mike Rogers. That's the Diamond race. So Uja in 1, Collins in 2, McLeod goes in 3, watch him with that yellow headband, Powell in 4, Maite 5, Simbine 6, Martina 7, Gemini 8, Rogers in 9.
Set.
Good start from Powell, very upright McLeod there, and begins to go away from him at the moment is Powell. Powell leading from Maite, coming through strongly there to take second place beside Maite and Simbine. It was Powell, Simbine and Maite, 1, 2, 3, 9, 9, 4 for Asafa Powell. Very close to his season's best of 9.92, and he does it yet again. Jamaica having won the last 6 editions of 100, and now it's 7 on the trot, thanks to Asafa Powell in the pink top.
Well, number 97 in terms of legal, sub 10 second clocking is absolutely incredible. I mean, you're right. I mean, obviously there's no Justin Gatlin tonight. He's won a couple of Diamond Leagues. You'll have to win the Diamond League. You have to be here tonight. Gatlin and 1 or 2 others not here. So it was up for grabs, wasn't it? And he's a great athlete and rewarded with the Diamond race win now. Just grabbed it away from Maite.
Maite there, 24 points from Powell's 26. That's a tough one to swallow. Simbine on 18. Asafa Powell on 9.94 then from Simbine and Maite. The first 3 fittingly under 10 seconds. Kim Collins 10.10. Jamelia season's best in 5th.
Well, a busy night in the field in the high jump. An event which well, hasn't been at its best this year. Of course, Ruth Bayshire finally coming through and winning an Olympic title. Fantastic for her. And Skoog here. Kind of continuing it's been a pretty solid year for her. Skoog cleared 194 earlier on in the season. Good enough for 3rd place tonight. This is McPherson. Anika McPherson of the USA really attacks, doesn't she? A lot of speed and clearing 193 at the 2nd attempt. And tonight was really an indication of what's gone on all season. Bayshire, first time clearances all the way through, pretty much had the competition all to herself. No Blanka Vlasic tonight. And it was the heptathletes, wasn't it, who high jumped best in Rio perhaps. So a fairly comfortable night for her. She was miles ahead in the diamond race. She did decide to put the bar up to over 2 meters just to have a bit of a go, but it wasn't to be. So the winning height in the end, 196. McPherson and Skoog having on countback getting 2nd and 3rd. But again, the level of competition, you wouldn't exactly say it was high. She doesn't mind. 196, good enough on the night. The diamond race winner. Great year for the Spaniard. So on the track, it's the men's 400 meter hurdles. We had a very late withdrawal this afternoon. Nicholas Bett, the world champion, who's been returning to good form. He was DQ'd in Rio, of course. So you can see the points there. Clement, pretty sure, unless something befalls him here, you'd expect him to be able to stay close enough to Coulson. Safely away. And watch for Coulson trying to get out quickly here, although Clement has started fast. And also outside Clement, Hussein rising to the crowd, has gone very quickly through the first 200 metres. But it's Coulson trying to chase down Clement. Thomas Bard, Tamuti. Just checking to see where he's gone. But this looks like, as we head into the home straight here, the local is giving them something to cheer about, isn't he? We've lost Tamuti, but Clement here has got to hold off Coulson if he wants to win this, and he looks so ragged, doesn't he, on the inside. Van Zyl finishing very quickly indeed, and Hussein is going backwards, and back comes Clement. Is he going to get there? Yes, he does. Goodness me. His race looked run, didn't it? Two flights to go. Coulson suddenly thought, I've got a chance here. Hussein's been cheered on by the crowd, and then he falls apart. Then all of a sudden, through all of the mess and the melee, Clement woke up and came through for the win.
He runs good, steady races, does Clement, but he finishes strongly, which is critical in this discipline. Van Sale, though, on the inside there, the far side, flailing with the arms. But look at Clement. Brilliant determination, shoulders rocking from side to side. Takes it eventually fairly comfortably, Steve. 48.72, 7 100s. It looked comfortable.
Clement then, with those 20 points, in the end extended his lead over Coulson. Had Coulson won, well, the money would have been his. 48.72 the winning time. Hussein fading to fifth there. Thomas Barr looking at tired 6, 49.34.
This season, Ruth Gibet became only the second woman to break the 9-minute barrier in the 3,000-metre steeplechase. She went on to become Olympic champion in Rio, and last week in Paris, she smashed the world record. The only prize left is the Diamond Trophy. But to win that, she'll have to beat world champion and Olympic silver medalist Hyvin Kieng Jepkemoi.
Well, there's the first page of starters for this women's steeplechase. 10 Rio finalists going in this event. Sefa, well, hasn't been in the best of form this year, but she finished 5th in Rio, the silver medalist in London 2012. Coburn, of course, the bronze medalist. Kieng, the silver medalist. And Ruth Gibet, not only the Olympic champion in a click under 9 minutes, but a world record holder after that astonishing run in Paris. So will they go for it here, or will it follow the other middle distance races of this evening, where some athletes have looked just a little tired? Other good athletes out there who deserve a mention, of course. Genevieve Lacaze of Australia, 9th in Rio and 12th in the 5,000 to boot, improving to 9:14 in Paris last week, where so many athletes ran personal bests. It was quite astonishing. Colleen Quigley in Paris, approaching new ground with 9:20, although she was only 9th in the French capital. Well, Stephanie Garcia, slots into 2nd place. Had a frustrating time, did the American, at the US trials. Finished in 5th place. They were so close to a place in the Rio squad. Her legs just going from under her, really, down the home straight in Eugene all those weeks back. A tweegong it is from Garcia. Chepkoech in 3rd place. One just gets the feeling that maybe the world record holder Gibet feels her season's fastest running, at least, was played out in Paris.
Well, for Thomas Roller, he will never forget 2016, will he? New Olympic champion, the first that Germany have had in the event since 1972. He just holds onto it there. Oh, Roller, that's a good effort, that's more like it. Showing the others how it's done. Big first round throw from Roller, 86.56. Actually, talking of javelin throwers, in the hotel in Rio was at Uwe Hearn, the big former East German. I'm sure he was enjoying watching Thomas Roller win for Germany there.
Vadlich then in this javelin. And Vadlich puts out another big throw. Round 4 there, 87 metres 28. The best of the night. Thomas Roller's opener, 86.56. Took some catching, but the Czech manages to do it eventually. And that, for Vadlich, is some consolation. What he probably regards as a disappointing performance in Rio. Nowhere near the rostrum from the Czech. Here is Julian Weber, or Weber, of Germany. Rather a muted first half to his contest. Then 81.27 in the 4th round. This 5th round effort going out to 84.29. He was 9th in Rio. Threw well in Paris on Saturday in that stifling heat. 87.39 there. And Weber there, 84.29 with his 5th round effort. He was close to his personal best in Paris, this former European junior champion. Still only 22, part of the German throwing squad's production line, as it is almost, and that good enough for 3rd place. Well, confirmation of the win for Badalec with that fourth round effort, 87-28 from Roller, the Olympic champion, having settled for second on this occasion. Weber in third. The Germans going well, the Finns, Ruskonen and Pitkämäki in fourth and fifth. And Jabet now won't get the world record, that's for sure. It could still be a very impressive run, perhaps something under 9:10. But as she comes through with 2 laps to run, she has about 15 metres on Kieng, who must be getting sick of the sight of a former compatriot's back. Chepkoech, it is in third, isolated. Emma Coburn now moves into fourth place, as you can see there, with 2 laps to run. And it's Chepkoech in the sights now of the American. She's mixed it so well, race after race, with the Kenyans and the best of the rest in over these last few weeks. And she tends to judge her races really well. She's good on the flat, she's run 4:05 for 1500, and I've no doubt she can take a few seconds off that. By contrast, Steve, the bizarre thing about these Kenyans, and indeed the Bahraini, the world record holder Jabet, is that they haven't worked on their flat speed at all, and that tells me, just common sense should tell you, that they can go better over the barriers if they improve their flat speed.
Well, when you think that Jabet, 8:52, I mean, there's a lot of women would like to run 8:52 just for a flat 3,000. 9 minutes is considered international standard for 3,000 metres. And once you get below that, you get below 8:50, you're starting to be able to win certain level races. So that's the calibre of her performance. So she comes round to take the bell now. I mean, she is so far ahead tonight, but is ahead of everybody in a general sense as well. It won't be a world record tonight, Tim, but I think I agree with you. She must at some point be able to go quicker when she chooses to.
Ruth Jabet then into the final lap, just over 300 metres to run. Top right of your picture, there she is, into the back straight now. This will round off the most astonishing season from Jabet. Just 19 years old, can you believe? She's still a youngster, still indeed, and under 20. Little glance up at the big screen just to check the gap behind her. She will see that Emma Coburn has moved into third place. She has caught Chepkoech and is working hard with 2:50 to go to close up on Kieng, although I think that might be a target too far down the track. But Jabet accelerates into the final water jump, negotiates that okay. She's a lovely, fluid little runner. High shoulders, powerful. Her first big title, Jabet, was the Asian Games title 2 years ago. Now she's Olympic champion, she's world record holder, and after a run of this calibre, she will be the diamond race winner. She came here 4 points to the good. She'll win by a much bigger margin than that as she crosses the line in 9:07. Looked pretty comfortable, frankly. Kieng in second place there, and Chepkoech in third, in second rather, as Emma Coburn comes through in third place.
After the exploits of last week in Paris, it was billed as a world record attempt, and you can understand the meat promoters for doing that. But I'm sure Jabet was thinking, goodness me, I cannot do that again. So then it was about winning, and she just did what she does. She picked the time to run away, and then enjoys a little jog across the line, doesn't she? Rather like she did in the Olympics in Rio, when we all thought she had missed the record on that occasion.
Ruth Jabet, 9:07, a meeting record here in Zurich from Hyven Kieng. 9:10.15 for the Kenyan behind the Bahraini. And Coburn in third place in the steeplechase.
Second round in the men's triple jump. Chris Carter then, after a solid opener. Not one of the taller triple jumpers, but powerful enough. A little disappointed there. That might be a tad further. 16.73's first round effort. It's a small improvement for Carter, just by 2 centimetres. 16.75 in second place.
Well, Christian Taylor, round 5 after 17.17 in round 4. His big jump coming in round 2, 17.34. And that is bigger still. That's a monster. From Taylor, his world lead, 17.86, and it's in that sort of region. Well, he is, let's not forget, the second longest jumper in history. Last year winning the world title in Beijing. He came very close, within about 3 inches of Jonathan Edwards' world record. 18.21 he jumped down. That for Taylor, 17 metres 80. And that's the Taylor smile we're used to seeing back in full force. Now, Troy Doris. And that from Doris, despite that right elbow slapping down into the sand in the 6th and final round. 17.01. Well, he doesn't so often go over 17 metres, but he finishes in 2nd place. Christian Taylor, all smiles at the end of this diamond race of 2016.
Well, they like their tradition in Switzerland and here in this meeting in Zurich, and traditionally we finish with a 4x100 relay, so here we go. Tiana Bartoletta and Alison Felix, they're going for the USA. They did exactly the same in Rio, took them to the gold medal. Well, not a bad Jamaican team either, with Elaine Thompson down the back straight, the Olympic champion. They get away safely though, and Tiana Bartoletta trying to run down the Jamaican team and already opened up a big gap, these two, on Germany. It wasn't a great change, but Alison Felix has got it, but so does the Olympic champion, who's pulling away from Alison Felix. Jamaica in the lead with Elaine Thompson, and Thompson now hands to Simone Facey, and they've got it safely, and it's all gone horribly wrong behind them for the USA. As ever, Alison Felix again, goodness me. So Jamaica well in the lead here. Ukraine going well, Germany in with a fight here, but here we go. Let's watch the clock. Easy win, 41.65. That's not bad, is it? Ukraine got 2nd. Veronica Campbell-Brown only had to run in a straight line, which she hasn't always managed to do in recent times. However, 41.65, that's not bad at all. There'll be plenty of national teams would love to be able to run that quick, goodness me.
I don't know what happened to the USA there, goodness me. Alison Felix there in the blue right of picture.
What is it with Alison?
Look at that. Well, Tamo, I think, just went off too early. Tamo went off too early and there was no way Felix could get to her. They came back pretty strongly. They didn't finish in last place, but the Jamaicans again and again, they just make it look so simple.
Well, it's been one of those nights, hasn't it? Lots of big names winning and coming through to win the diamond race. Lots of familiar names there. 16 events tonight have crowned their diamond winners, diamond race winners. Another 16 in Brussels next week.
There's more sport still to come this weekend. Tomorrow you can catch up with all the action from Burghley Horse Trials at 3 o'clock on BBC Two. Then later there's live red button coverage of the Triathlon World Series from Edmonton. You can also find highlights of that event on Monday at 2:50 on BBC Two. There's a great weekend of athletics to look forward to. The Diamond League returns for the last time this season. We'll have highlights from Brussels on Saturday at 1:15. That's followed on BBC One by the Great City Games at 2:15. Then on Sunday, it's the Great North Run, coverage beginning at 9:30 a.m.
Well, there was definitely a slight feeling of after the Lord Mayor's show in Zurich, as many of the big names just about did enough to ensure they bagged the diamond race cash and head off on their holidays without producing too many eye-catching performances. If it was a foregone conclusion for some, such as Daphne Skippers, Le Villani and Christian Taylor, it certainly wasn't for Laura Muir in the 1500. Her roller coaster season, which has soared so high despite the dip in Rio, took one final twist as she crossed the line. Thinking she needed to win, she watched incredulously as Shannon Robury entered her effort in the Athletics Dive of the Year competition to win. It didn't matter though, Muir still ended up as the diamond race winner, a lovely reward for a brilliant season, and a wildcard entry to the World Championships in London next year. I bet she can hardly wait.
That's it from Zurich. Join us next week where the remaining diamond races will be decided in Brussels. Until then, goodbye.